Hello, hello. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right. So this is going to be today's topic. This video is going to be for the 13th of October. And this is the series where if you'd like to enter to win a free read with me, you can do so just by writing the word empowered in the comment section, being a subscriber, and give this video a thumbs up. Those three things get you entered to win. I do choose one subscriber each week to get a free reading with me. And it's always a longer format one. And I always make it available so everybody can see it. Okay. I usually pick that winner on my Monday. So here we go. We are starting out with the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. I always look at this as somebody changing direction completely. It's like a train jumping their tracks. It's a train going down a different road. It's instead of this slow going like one singular mindset of a goal. Okay, we've got two. Instead of just one singular mindset, a goal has changed, a journey has changed, a character has surrendered or given up or grown beyond their original quest. We have an Ace of Cups in the reverse, and we have the Sun. This is a person who has, they could be a Leo, but they've suddenly said, my heart doesn't want that anymore. I don't love that situation anymore. I don't love that goal anymore. I don't love that person anymore. And you know what? I feel lighter than I have in a very long time. I'm not in love anymore. My heart doesn't yearn for something like it used to. Tell me more about this. We have got a Queen of Pentacles. We may have a Queen of Pentacles that is really happy. They're feeling very light, very fluffy, very lighthearted. Why is that happening for them right now? We have a Seven of Cups. We have an Eight of Cups. It doesn't have to be a feminine. This could be a masculine just as easily, but we do have an awful lot of pictures of feminines showing up here. This could be a Queen of Pentacles who has fallen out of love with someone. Their heart no longer wants that person, and they're finally realizing that I like being single, and I like knowing that there's opportunities. There's tons of different options and opportunities for people for me to meet for a different lifestyle choice. I'm now pleased to think that the thing I used to want is not actually my destination anymore. Why are they pleased to think that? Four of Pentacles, because it was really holding them back. This must have been a situation that was fraught with like things that would create stagnation, things that would bog down true growth. If, say, this was a relationship, and maybe it was a career path, maybe it was a lifestyle choice, but whatever it was, they realized that they weren't growing. They weren't happy. Nothing was going their way. There was nothing that was working out for them. And it's a relief that they finally aren't on that path. They're not on that journey anymore. This isn't the person they're going to end up with. This is nice. They're feeling so much lighter. Hold on, that's not the deck. Let's go with this deck. Tell me more about this. We have got the Emperor. We've got a Nine of Pentacles in the reverse, and we've got the Embodiment of Cups in the reverse. You know, it's interesting because I would almost say, on the heels of that Four of Pentacles card where somebody says it was really stagnant, I think what they're realizing is at one point in time, the person that they thought they wanted to be attached to could have been a King of Cups that was not emotionally available for them. And they realize it was never going to be soul satisfying, or maybe they realized that person was never really ready to give anything, and what they'd really rather have is an Emperor. I almost think this is like, for such a long time, this character was holding on to the idea that a particular person is who they were in love with. And then slowly, or maybe this came in like a thunderclap where it's like, oh my gosh, I'm no longer in love with them. Oh my gosh, something has changed. Let me go for another deck here, because I want to know what it was that made them see this so differently. Instead of holding on to this concept that this one person is still supposed to be their individual, they said, this person isn't capable of giving me that love. They never were. but now I'm not holding on to them. I want an emperor instead. I get to still meet an emperor. There's somebody else out there. I don't have to deal with a person that can't be emotionally available. I get to deal with an emperor. Why is it happening now? We have a 10 of wands. We have the death card in the reverse. I think this character for a little while, um, she could have guilted herself even a little bit and said, when you love somebody, you should, you know, hold on to that. And I think that they've changed their mindset a little bit. Holding on to something so that they're not like a quitter, which, okay, here's the ironic part. We've got this Queen of Pentacles that was at some point in time holding on tightly to a person that wasn't showing them any love, to a person that could have been ice cold, to a person that was maybe this Queen of Pentacles knew that this character who wasn't giving them love, possibly a King of Cups in the reverse, was at some kind of a disadvantage. They had their own obstacles. They didn't feel stable and secure in themselves. So this Queen of Pentacles was like, I understand why they're the way they are, and I believe in loving someone, and that, you when you give your heart, you really give it. But the thing is, she wasn't getting anything back in return. So she can stand there and be stoic and be even stubborn and say, yes, but I'm gonna pat myself on the back that I'm gonna stand here and suffer, continuously giving all of my love, my energy to someone who will not love me in return, maybe because of valid reasons that she understands about them. But at some point she realized that's no good. Me standing here, there's nobody judging me and giving me points for making myself maybe miserable while I stand there and insist that, hey, I said I love this person, so I can never walk away from that. I can't be kind of glad and excited that, wait a minute, I don't have to tolerate this as my forever life, being in a connection with someone who doesn't have the capability of loving me back, doesn't want to figure out how to love themselves so then they can love me right. I think for a while she kind of thought that she was not supposed to, like, be quote unquote selfish enough to say, I don't want that. I'm glad. I'm excited that I get to break away from this at long last, and I get to go and hope to meet an emperor. I get to actually have a life with someone else. I think that was a big old burden that she carried for a while. Am I allowed to change? Am I allowed to stop being that solid person who said, well, I said I loved them, so therefore I can't take that back, otherwise that'll make me a wishy-washy person. And I think that was a really big burden. I don't know if she talked to somebody who made her see it that way. Maybe she talked to a spiritual advisor, or and maybe it was just someone that she met in passing, somebody that she thought was really sincere. But she might have either gained a perspective on, why am I carrying this huge burden that I love someone who can't love me back, but I'm supposed to stand here and basically uh, waste my whole life and all the love I have because I promised I wanted to love them. Why would I guilt myself over saying, no, I get to move on from this and I get to go meet somebody else who can love me back? I think she had to get over some strange guilt about it. And maybe it's because she didn't want to be a quitter. Maybe it's because she didn't want to be fickle. Maybe it's because she really held on to this person for a really long time. But I think this is suggesting that she held on for guilt. She didn't want to be the person that abandons something. I've never had that message pop up before, but the 10 of wands is guilt. And the death card in the reverse says, I can't let go of it. I'll feel horrible if I say that I could fall out of love with this person, but this person's not loving you back. I know, but I said I loved them. I She finally got beyond that guilt. She finally looked at it for what it was and said, that's not in what universe does anybody expect another person to never be able to be happy because, hey, you said you love that person, and even if they're a train wreck or they're not loving you back, doesn't matter. You said you loved them, so you can never change your mind. You can never do something healthy for you. It's nice that she finally looked at it, I think, through that set of eyes, and she let it go. Three of Cups in the reverse, Two of Pentacles in the reverse, Temperance. She made peace with it. She made peace with the fact that it's like she kept showing up to an empty room and, like, performing or cooking or, providing for what? For someone who wasn't present. And I think that's where she finally said, okay, I can make peace with this. I'm not a quitter. It's that I would have given to something had the person been there to receive it. But if that King of Cups in the reverse wasn't even there to receive it, who am I cooking for? Who am I performing for? Who am I singing for? If that person, if the audience member isn't even there, it's not, shameful of me to say, I need to take my skill set someplace else. Other people on this planet will want to experience what I have to offer, and I should probably give my energy there. I should give my energy to an emperor. I think this was a huge relief that she's allowing herself to walk away. She or he is allowing themselves to walk away from this concept that they had to keep loving someone who didn't love them back. Otherwise, they were a quitter. That's an interesting thing. That was like a huge guilt trip that they placed on themselves. And I would almost suggest then that represented an area that they needed to grow in. And sure enough, they did. So meeting this person was probably good for them. Even though it would be sad that that king couldn't love them back, still meeting a person who pushed them to grow through some huge like guilt factor like that, misplaced guilt factor, I would argue, it seems like it's done them a world of good. So tell me about the emperor. Tell me about this emperor. We have got a four of wands. It's in the reverse, and we get a king of wands sideways. So we're going to slow it down just a little bit. This, so to put it as gently as I can, this Queen of Pentacles may not be quite ready for an emperor. They want to meet one, but they might still have a little bit more growth to do. Isn't that interesting how the tables turn, right? Now we're kind of like putting her under the spotlight and saying, okay, so we saw that she grew and got over some guilt. But now she wants an emperor, which is wonderful. But is she really ready for that yet? This says, no, let's ease her into that. It's like the universe is saying, no, first she needs to make sure she can be loved. What if the fact that this character kind of wouldn't let themselves feel okay about walking away from someone that clearly wasn't nourishing them, what if that's an indicator that they too need to learn how to let someone love them? A Queen of Pentacles can be really good at giving to others. That's, it's a sign of service. It's continually wanting to do for someone, maybe not accepting anything in return. Well, this person wouldn't accept what she wanted to do for them. All the stuff she wanted to give, they wouldn't accept it. She perhaps doesn't know how to receive either, though, is what this is suggesting to me. So she's not really ready for an emperor, because an emperor is going to want to give to her. So is a king of wands, but the king of wands is sideways here, and the four of wands is in the reverse. She's not quite ready for that yet. And I think that's an important message. Please remember, these are fictional, so don't get mad at the message or at the messenger, because I promise you, this is just, if we step back and we get to watch these characters play things out, like, I feel like a ton of like compassion for this character right now, because we're seeing like layers of them getting peeled away, and it's like, oh wow, they have had something implanted in that beautiful brain of theirs that said, I'm supposed to give and give and give. And the universe is like, no, baby. First, you got to stop feeling guilty if you don't keep giving to everybody. And secondly, you got to learn how to receive. Have you done that yet? Because you're not ready for an emperor unless you can first at least test the waters with a warm and loving king of wands. Now, she may think, I want that, but can she really accept it? Eight of swords, king of swords in the reverse, and the three of swords upright. I would say a big, huge no. She can't receive yet. She hasn't worked through something else. Some piece of her is still stuck. And probably doesn't see it this way, probably isn't aware that she carries a big wound, some big old heartbreak. I don't know if this is like a father wound, a mother wound. There's some kind of a big lie, though. A king of swords is an imbalance, and it's sometimes a lack of truth when they go into the reverse like that. She's stuck in a mentality, almost like, I don't know if she got programmed where she was required to give all the time, that someone made her feel like she's always required to give. And no matter what she gives, it's never quite enough anyway. So there won't ever be an amount that she can be accepted if she gives this amount. It's a whole life of continually like doing for giving, which on one hand we could say, oh, how beautiful, somebody just gives and gives and gives. But on the other hand, to have a really great exchange, especially with an emperor, it's going to be a partner who's equal, who stands beside her, who doesn't wait for her to just keep pouring incessantly into the connection and into them, but rather somebody that they co-create with, co-build with. Otherwise, it's going to be like she's always in charge. She decides how much is, what direction it goes, and she's always snatching stuff up and doing it before they get a chance to do anything themselves. An emperor's not going to probably be down with that. An emperor makes their own decisions. They have their own opinions. She doesn't get to just drive things forward and give and give and give the way she was programmed to, all because of there's some kind of a betrayal in all of this, some kind of a lie told, something that made her always feel like this is the way I have to be. I'm supposed to give. That's what I do. Okay, so this is it's very eye-opening. 8 of Wands. There's movement and there's change and there's fresh ideas and there's a chance to communicate and there's a chance for her to maybe she needs to go talk to somebody about all that, though. This could be a character who needs, look at this, Empress. Maybe she's either recognizing these traits in herself after encountering, I feel like she's going to spend some time with a King of Wands, not someone that she's going to marry, not an emperor, but someone who will help her identify maybe her tendency to overgive, where she got stuck, what kind of emotional thing kind of got programmed in there. I think that King of Wands is going to be really important in helping her. It's interesting how at first we would have assumed that she's the one who changed course because a King of Cups in the reverse couldn't love her right, only to discover that King of Cups in the reverse was an imperative part of her growth, as is this King of Wands. All of these relationships are actually helping her find the Empress within her so she can at last be with that Emperor. This is a lovely story of how sometimes we assume that we're the ones in a better, stronger position. Like that's what we think of as our lead character first, right? Only to discover our lead character has been on a journey of growth and seeing themselves in a different light and leveling up. But it was under the guise of thinking that she had dealt with, at least one unpleasant situation. No, that unpleasant situation was really important. It cracked something open for her. It started this other journey and got her looking at her own self, her own beliefs about herself. And that's where she found that she's truly an empress. That's where she leveled up. Now she gets her emperor. This is one of those things where I love the stories that take us off in unexpected twists and turns, because I think it's so much better than having like a narrow vision stories where it's like, okay, here's a hero and here's a villain. No, this was all progress. It was all learning. It was all growing, and it was all necessary. I loved this one. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being here. If you do enjoy the channel, please do give it a thumbs up. Please do subscribe. I will see you all in the next one. Take care. Bye.